Hello students, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about reflection at plane surface. In the last introductory class we studied what is reflection, laws of reflection and types of images. So today's class is exclusively about reflection at plane surface. So we can see that reflection is about, we are going to study about plane surface and curved surface. The best example for the plane surface is looking mirror. So this is a common mirror which we regularly observe ourselves before we go outside. In everybody's house we can see this plane mirror. Next is a curved surface. That is, the best examples are concave mirror and convex mirror. About concave mirror and convex mirror we are going to study about the next coming classes. So I have just samples here. The plane mirror. So this is generally a plane mirror. We have a plane mirror here. And we can see we have a concave mirror. So the best example for the concave mirror is the shaving mirror. So this is curved inside. And next we have a convex mirror, which is curved outside. And the best example for the convex mirror is the rear mirror, which we use in the automobiles. And this is the looking mirror. Okay, right. I hope you understood. Now, let us study about the characteristics of the image formed in the plane mirror. So we can see that the characteristics of the characteristics of the image formed in the plane mirror as well as this curved surface are different. So let us see about the characteristics of the image formed in the plane mirror. So as the plane mirror indicates, the surface is flat. It's actually a flat glass plate which is painted with silver on one side. So this is this part we call as a shaded part, and this part acts like a mirror, and this part is called as a reflecting surface. So this is actually a plane mirror. Now we are going to study about the characteristics of the image formed in the plane mirror. Before we study about the characteristics, I am going to draw and show you how the image is formed in the plane mirror. In the last class we have studied that the plane mirror will produce a virtual image, right? So let me draw the formation of the image in case of the plane mirror. So I hope you all follow. Now let me take a plane mirror. This is a plane mirror. Now let me say we have one object. This is a object, and the object is at some distance, and that distance I denote with the letter U. So I write here object distance. Object distance is denoted as U. What is object distance? The distance of the object from the mirror. This is a mirror, right? And this distance is denoted as U. Let me say it is 10 centimeters. The distance is 10 centimeters. Now, and let me denote it as AB, right? So let me say this AB is a height of object. Right. Now let us see now how to draw the ray diagrams, and using the ray diagrams how to study the properties of the image formed by the plane mirror. So this is the top part of the object. Now from the top part, let me say that we are drawing two light rays, two incident light rays. So the first light ray, let me say we are drawing, this is the first light ray which are drawing perpendicular to the plane surface. Now this is the incident ray, and the incident ray will reflect black following the laws of reflection. Please remember that whenever you are drawing this ray diagrams, they follow the laws of reflection. And this is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Now from the same point you have to draw one more incident ray. This is the second incident ray. Now following the laws of reflection, the ray is reflected like this. So if you draw a normal here and check the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, you will see that angle of incidence always equal to angle of reflection. So we have drawn two incident light rays. This is the first incident light ray, this is the second incident light ray. And we have two reflected light rays. This is the first reflected light ray, this is the second reflected light ray. Now, another two incident light rays you are going to draw from the bottom. We have started from the top, now from the bottom part. So let me draw, one is same perpendicular, this is the incident ray, and that ray is again reflected back like this. Now secondly, we are going to draw one more. So this is another incident light ray and it is reflected in this way. So you have to remember here, they follow the laws of reflection. That is, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. If you draw a normal here and check it, angle of incidence and angle of reflection both will be equal. Now, if you look at the diagram, we have four incident light rays. First, second, third and fourth. Four incident light rays. Now for this four incident light rays, we have four reflected light rays. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now if you look at this reflected light rays, do they meet anywhere? No. So they are just diverging. So since the reflected light rays do not meet, we don't get a real image. So if you don't get a real image, we get a virtual image. So let us see where we get the virtual image. So to get the virtual image, you have to extend the reflected rays backside. So how do you extend the light rays? We can extend the light rays by showing the dotted lines like this. So this is the first reflected light ray and that is extended backside like this. Now this is the second, I'll extend it backside like this. So the extended light rays are meeting at a point here. And let me extend this line. We have still two more light rays, reflected light rays. And so if you extend like this, right. So you can see that these reflected light rays, when they are extended, they are again meeting at 2 points. So there you get the image. This is where you get the image. And this is a virtual image. Virtual image. So using a plane mirror, what is the nature of the image? We get a virtual image. And when you look at the diagram, you can see that when you look at the size, the object size and the image size. Let me denote image size as A dash, B dash. So A dash, B dash. So this is the height of image, right? And object distance is denoted with U, and next we can denote image distance also. Image distance is denoted with V. So this distance is V. So this is U and this distance is V. If you measure, we can see that that distance is also 10 centimeters. Distance is also 10 centimeters. So from this, let us try to write the characteristic features of the image formed by the plane mirror. So first we can see that these are the characteristics. So as reflected light rays do not meet, we don't get a real image. So what is that image? It's a virtual image. So first property is it's a virtual image. Virtual image. Secondly, look at the size, look at the height. That is AB and A dash B dash. AB and A dash, they both are same. So we can say that object size is equal to image size. And thirdly, look at the distance. The distance of the object from the mirror, that is U. And the distance of the image from the mirror, that is V. So object distance is equal to image distance. And next you can see that this is a lateral inversion. Lateral inversion. About lateral inversion, I would like to explain with one more diagram. Okay, so it's a virtual image, and object size is called image size, object distance is called image distance, the lateral inversion, and we also have the fifth one, that is you see the top part, and if you look at the top part of the image, both are same, so we call that as erect. It's a erect image. It's not inverted, it's a erect image. I hope you understood this diagram. Well students, I would like to say one point about the previous diagram. If you look at this diagram, I have drawn here 4 incident light rays. Actually, when light ray from any light source is falling on this object, the light rays are reflected in different directions. Let me say, when the light is falling on this object, some of the light rays are reflected left side, right side, some are moving upwards and some are moving downwards. But since we have the mirror towards right, so I am taking 4 incident light rays. You can take any number of light rays, but the more number you take, the more complicated it becomes. So I have taken 4 incident light rays, and I got 4 reflected light rays, and with this 4 reflected light rays, as they were not meeting, we didn't get a real image. So we have got the virtual image. Now next, coming to lateral inversion. Lateral inversion is one of the important characteristic property of the image formed by the plane mirrors. So what is lateral inversion is, the left part of the image becomes the right part. That is, there is a difference between inversion and the lateral inversion. Inversion means the top part becomes the bottom part and the bottom part becomes the top part. Lateral means sidewards. So lateral inversion means that the left becomes right and the right becomes left. So let me draw a diagram and explain it very clearly. I already drawn 2 square boxes, and I have divided by 2 lines, children. So this is let me say this is a vertical axis and this is a horizontal axis. For the 2 boxes I have done the same thing. Now I have to write any letter. So let me take letter P, which will help us in understanding very easily. So I'm drawing one. I have taken one letter P, and so I'm drawing like this. So this vertical axis divides the P into equal parts. So that is a line of symmetry, we can say vertical line of symmetry, and we also have a horizontal line of symmetry also. That is this x-axis, you can take it, right? So now what happens during a lateral inversion is, in case of this lateral inversion, this y-axis rotates 180 degrees. It rotates 180 degrees. This rotates 180 degrees. So the left becomes right and the right becomes left. And when it rotates like that, generally you get the image like this. Like this. Left becomes right and the right becomes left. Suppose the x-axis rotates 180 degrees, then the top becomes bottom and the bottom becomes top. Let me explain here. I have already drawn this letter P like this. Okay, so this is a vertical axis and this is a horizontal axis. So if the vertical axis rotates 180 degrees, then it becomes like this. Now you can see how you look at the P. Right, so this is lateral inversion. This is original P, okay, this is the object, and after lateral reflection, it becomes like this. Suppose if the x-axis is rotated 180 degrees, then what happens is it becomes like this. This is called as inversion. This is P. If it is inverted, it becomes like this. The top becomes bottom and the bottom becomes top. Okay, and this is lateral inversion. I hope you understood. Okay, now let us see some important formulae related to mirrors. So first of all, when we have a single mirror, generally we get a single image. If you have 2 mirrors, then we are going to get more number of images. So it depends upon the angle present between the 2 mirrors. let me explain to you. Suppose this is one mirror and you have one more mirror kept like this. Then what is the angle between the two mirrors? It is 90 degrees. Suppose you have one mirror like this and you have one more mirror like this. Then the angle is 30 degrees. So depending on this is called angle of inclinations. Suppose you have one mirror like this and another mirror is like this. Then the angle is 0 degrees. So the angle is represented as theta. So here theta is 30 degrees. Here theta is 0 degrees. And here theta is 90 degrees. Depending upon the angle present between the two mirrors, the number of images which are formed will change. So let us see the important formula related to this. So first point, the number of images formed by the two inclined mirrors. If 360 by theta is even, that is this theta is angle of inclination. If 360 by the angle of inclination, if you are getting it even, then the number of images, the formula for the number of images is 360 by theta minus 1. Let me explain. If theta is 30 degrees, angle of inclination is 30 degrees, then let me calculate 360 by 30. So you are getting around 12. So 12 is even. So if it is even, then the number of images which is represented with n, then n is equal to 360 by theta minus 1. Already 360 by theta we have seen, that is 12. 12 minus 1 is equal to 11. So the number of images which are formed when the angle of inclination is 30 degrees, the number of images formed is 11. So that is according to this formula. Number of images n is equal to 360 by theta minus 1. When you are going to use this formula, when 360 by theta is even. Right? We'll take one more. If theta is 90 degrees, theta is 90 degrees, then what is 360 by 90? So it's 4, which is even. So what is the number of images? 4 minus 1, that is 3. I hope you understood this. Now, if 360 by theta is odd, then the number of images formed n is equal to 360 by theta. Let me take one example. Here, let me take the example here. If theta is 40 degrees, let me say, if theta is 40 degrees, then 360 by 40, you are getting 9, which is odd. So the number of images formed is 9. There is no need of subtracting 1 again. You are going to subtract 1 only when 360 by theta is even. Okay? I hope you understood this. Okay. The second formula is the minimum size of the mirror to observe the image of a wall behind a person at mid-room is 1/3 the size of the wall. For example, you are standing in the middle of a room and you want to see the complete image of the wall which is behind you. So we have the mirror in front of you and there is a wall behind you. Now the minimum size of the mirror to see the complete image of the object, that is wall behind you. So the formula is 1/3 the size of the wall. So the minimum size of the image, the minimum size of the mirror depends upon the size of the wall which is behind you. Suppose the size of the wall is 9 feet, then the minimum size of the mirror is 1/3, that is 3 feet. If it is 6 feet, then the minimum size of the mirror which is required is 2 feet. Okay. The second is the minimum size of the plane. The minimum size of the plane mirror required to see the full image of a person is half the size of the person. Suppose a person is 6 feet. Then what is the minimum size of the mirror which is required to see the complete image of that person? So the formula is half. That is, if he is 6 feet, then the size of the mirror is 3 feet. If the person is let me say 5 feet, then the minimum size of the mirror which is required is 2.5. It may be 2.5, it is 3.5, it is 3, it is like this. That is, the minimum should be 2.5. So these are the total 3 important formulae related to mirrors.